from Indianapolis, Indiana. Welcome to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show, presented by Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. And now, here's your hosts, Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 259. I'm your host, Brandon Reef. We'll be joined momentarily by my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. He'll be joining us momentarily. We've got a good show for you tonight. I'm going to give you the rundown. John's going to be a few minutes late, so you got to bear with it. You got to listen to me during that time. Breaking it down tonight, we've got the NBA, obviously the National Basketball Association wrapped up. The NBA Finals, Denver Nuggets put away the Miami Heat 4-1. So we've got a little recap there on that series. Nuggets winning their first NBA title. So we'll talk that. NBA draft. The draft is next Thursday. We are 8 days away from the draft. Indiana Pacers, our local team here, has the number 7 pick. Where will the Pacers go with that number 7 pick? Right now, I'm seeing a lot of different mocks having the Pacers go a couple different ways for the draft. It'll be interesting to see, do they trade? They've got 4 picks. You got to believe that they're not going to keep all 4 picks in the draft. They're going to either try to trade up or move for extra pieces. But right now we're seeing Jarace Walker, the forward from Houston, as a possible pick. Taylor Hendricks, the power forward from UCF, as well as another guy. Cam Whitmore, a wing from Villanova. Those guys are right there in the Pacers' wheelhouse. And really, if they really want to look wheelhouse, then they need to look at Brandon Miller trying to trade up. And if they can get the number 2 or 3 spot where Brandon Miller is, that would be ideal. That's the type of player that would definitely fit in well with the Pacers. They need to get that power forward as well. Like we talked about, it was like a revolving door at the Circle Center Mall here locally for the Indiana Pacers at that position. So we'll talk a little NBA draft as well tonight. NFL news and notes. OTAs are over. Next thing we've got, the facilities are all closed now. We've got training camps about a month away. So we'll talk that and more. We've got U.S. Open this week. Golf's 3rd major, U.S. Open out of Los Angeles. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then just some random news and notes from around the league. Just around the sports world that have happened this past week. So we'll hit all that and more. Got my co-host here, Jonathan Birdsong. JB, how you been?
Doing just fine, man. You know, we got a new NBA champion, man. So I'm kind of a little down, man, because ain't no more basketball, man. At least till summer league starts, man. But I'm doing just fine, man. Ready to talk. You know what I'm saying? Ready to talk some sports, man. I know we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive straight into the NBA. Also, we got Justin Fox from The Epic Podcast joining us tonight at 7:30. I can't wait to have him on because, John, I need to know what the hell I saw on Saturday night between the exhibition match between Floyd Mayweather and John Gotti III, and the craziness that ensued afterwards. Pure
right,
crazy.
Yeah, Justin's gonna come on and talk a little boxing with us, man. You know, there's something me and you are kind of challenged on, but like Justin's kind of aficionado on. We're gonna talk a little boxing with him, probably talk a little football too, man. So I can't wait. Yeah, Justin Fox from the Epic Podcast to be on with us at 7:30.
I gotta ask him. I'm gonna have to ask him, like, who's worse, like the money team or the mafia? Like, who wins that battle?
Oh, man. Well, I don't know. There's more.
The mafia always wins, John. Right? Did you see what his wife said on Twitter?
Yeah, she said to his daughter, didn't
he? Yeah, to the daughter. Like, I mean, oh,
yeah, I think there's
crazy.
A lot of hype, man. But yeah, nuts. Boxing's nuts.
I mean, and speaking of, since we're talking NBA, we're going to talk NBA. I mean, has anybody had a worse week or 10 days than Zion Williamson?
I mean, Brad, that depends how you look at it.
I mean, his name's in the papers again.
Is it bad or is it good? Well, it's bad because whatever, if it's to be believed, it's getting blown up by, you know what I'm saying,
Lady of the Night.
film star, right? Who's that now?
A lady of the night, yes.
Lady of the night. Yeah, man. But like, nah, man.
Okay, so here's my theory on that. So I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with if you've got beef and such idea and you want to out it.
Right.
Okay. You want to say your piece maybe a day or two and you want to just throw out a little bit.
Keep on doing it.
But once you keep on doing it, it's just like you're throwing extra dirt and shovels and cars and you're throwing all this on top of it, man. Boy.
She really likes Zion Williamson.
Apparently.
She really likes Zion Williamson.
She did. But hey man, I'll give credit to Zion. He's taking it like a champ. He's just dealing with it, you know? I mean, man, but she talking about the Coke cans in the bathroom, man. I mean, come on. Come on, Zion. You best believe I'm going to ask Justin Fox. That's going to be one of the first questions I ask him because I want to hear his take on that. So, but
Zion Williams, eyes wide shut.
Oh, baby mama drama. So it's hey, better him than me. Stay out of the drama. I like seeing other NBA players' drama. I mean, I would rather be him than John Morant.
Absolutely, because John Morant in the next couple of days,
it's coming down. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Unfortunately,
should be half season at least, I believe. My thoughts, personally.
Yeah, there's no way he's gonna get a slap on the wrist again. I'm thinking like 40, 45 games.
Yeah, there's probably no chance that they trade him. I mean, you could probably get good value out of him trading him. I would almost like to say
you
they
already
were.
there?
Yeah, yeah.
You already at
the
trade deadline? Come on, Brandon. They're gonna get some help. Well, let's talk about that. Adam Silver has said that don't focus on the amount of games that he gets. So it might even be more than what you are saying. You came both of them kind of saying half the season, so it might even be more than that.
With the Spurs
saying like this is like a problem. They don't really want John Morant to mess up.
Would the Spurs take him?
And like have that
work with Popovich?
Go ahead.
Would the Spurs take him under Popovich's wing?
I mean, anybody would take him, man.
That
but it's not on the organization.
Well, I was talking about that number one pick.
It's not on the organization to mature. It's not on the organization to mature the player. It's on the player to mature himself.
Would you consider trading the number one pick for John Morant and throw a couple extra pieces in there?
But this, no, I would not.
Okay,
I wouldn't.
I got you thinking about it though. You hesitated, so that was good enough.
I had to think about it. I would not do it.
Denver Nuggets win the NBA Finals, win the NBA championship, 4-1. Our previous show, 2 shows ago, or whenever it was, we gave our preview. John, I said I thought they would win in 5, a gentleman's sweep. Actually, I initially said sweep, but a gentleman's sweep it is. Miami just ran out of gas, John. Injuries and just getting tired, and Denver just outplayed them every facet of the game. I know Bam tried to put on a hell of a game, but it was just too much. Denver, good for Denver. Good to see what they've done. Jokic played well. Jamal Murray, the key role players stepped up when they needed to for that team. Aaron Gordon, I haven't had 2-3 games that was just stepped up. That type of player, kind of like that Andrew Wiggins-esque games that the Warriors had when they won their title. Jamal Murray had his game. He did have a couple of shoots. So Jimmy Butler, John, disappeared. And in that last game, he kind of just tried to show up in the final 5 minutes, and then he had that horrible, horrible turnover there at the end, just throwing the ball away to Caldwell Pope. Your take on the Nuggets knocking off the Heat?
I mean, you mentioned all the appropriate players, man. Aaron Gordon, dunk champion. Now he's got to add that NBA champion to his resume as well. But yeah, he stepped up.
Christian
Michael
Braun.
Porter Jr. The Michael Porter Jr. The shooting percentages necessarily wasn't there from a game in, like every game. But he had moments, man, where he had a big rebound or even had a big dunk.
Can I tell you something about him?
I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't like him, man. He takes too many bad shots. Way too many bad shots. And for the type of player he is, he shouldn't be in that position to take those shots. I'm sorry. Get your rebound, play inside. But there was a lot. I think I counted 25 to 30 at least bad shots I've seen over the NBA Finals that he took. And I would be like, God, that's a horrible shot.
Right. He's seemingly a guy that likes the ball in his hands, and the balls is constantly in Jamal Murray and Jokic's hands. So, But no, but like I said, Brandon, he had some moments where, stepped up, got a key rebound or even a steal, So, but like Bruce Brown. I said Bruce Bowen. Shame on me.
Oh.
Bruce Brown had a good game as well, man. So they had some reserves step up for him as well, man. And then, like I said, the Joker just played out of his mind, and so did Jamal Murray. The way I assess it, man, you hit the nail right on the head, Brandon. The Miami Heat ran out of gas. It still remains to be seen, Brandon. They can hang their heads on the fact that Tyler Hero didn't. He had a DNP game 5, and even Coach Spoelstra said that they kind of second guessing it, but it would be kind of hard for in the expectation for him to play like the Tyler Hero of old that we want to know that he can play after sitting for like how many weeks, right? So Miami ran out of gas. They needed. Think about it. Think about what kind of gas they would have had with Victor Oladipo as well. And I know Victor Oladipo is sort of a shadow of himself when it as it pertains to what he did, here in Indiana, or even further back when he went to play for Oklahoma. But again, if you had that extra weapon out there, what would it look like that? What would it look like for Miami? So Miami just ran out of gas. I don't necessarily focus on the fact. A lot of the mainstream media, Brandon, says undrafted guys. Man, ain't nobody care about them dudes, about Max Strus or whoever else out there being undrafted. They out there balling. They out there beat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They out there they beat Milwaukee, they beat the Knicks, they beat, they beat Boston. Nobody care about them being drafted. That's shame on the scouts because they didn't get drafted. That's shame on, That's shame on the scouts that didn't draft them. So, no, man, I tip my hat. I kind of tip my hat to both squads because it was a magical run for Miami. It just kind of like I said, fell apart, ran out of gas. And then Denver, they get to raise the banner. Say what now, Brandon?
I said they've been to the NBA Finals. What, 2 of the last 4 years?
Two of the last 4 years, man. So you can't hang your hat. But like you look at Denver, like they finally they're one of the last NBA teams. I mean, I know the Pacers and the Nets are still, but they're one of few NBA teams to ever win an NBA championship. And like the skies feel even brighter for them. The next two to three seasons, I would say.
Yeah, Miami, and it was reported today that the Heat are interested in grabbing another superstar to pair with Jimmy Buckets and Bam Adebayo. They're interested in Bradley Beal if the Wizards are willing to trade. That could be a big piece down there in Miami for them. The Celtics are not interested in Beal. They've said today a report that their main priority is to keep Jaylen Brown. And they're going to try that experiment again of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, 2 max players, trying to share the ball, which we saw did not work this year. So call them crazy. They're going to try to do the same thing and see what happens. So, but the Heat, I don't think you need to hang your hat, even as a Heat fan. I think you should be proud of what happened this year. The team came together after being in how many elimination games? I mean, they were in the play-in elimination game against the Bulls. So Miami's just going to load up again like they always do. Kyle Lowry, man, as much as I give him shit all the time, right? I give Fat Lowry and all that. I honestly think he had about a B performance, I think, for the NBA Finals. I give him a grade of a B. He stepped up, hit some big shots out there. It was able to move the ball around when needed. So you didn't get the Lowry of the Raptors when they won the title that year. So, but the big man, Bam Adebayo, the dude has built himself to a larger contract. But he's one of those I could see just staying as a main Miami Heat mainstay for a long, long time. So, nothing to hang your hat upon if you're a Miami Heat fan whatsoever. The Rockets, John. Rockets are going to go after Kyrie Irving if they can't sign James Harden. Why the hell? You spent everything in the world to get rid of this man, to get rid of the bearded one, to get rid of him, and then now you want to bring him back.
I have no idea. I don't understand that at all. I know they have a very young team in Houston, and they're probably not happy with the backcourt that they have right now. So one of those guys are going to leave for sure, right? Because there's too many arrows kind of pointing like where Houston, wants Harden back, or now you're saying Kyrie Irving. Like, oh my goodness, like dude. But Houston. You look at Houston. They want to be a splash player again. Like how many years have they been down? They don't want to be. I don't think the Rockets want to see themselves as Orlando. Orlando's just going to keep on drafting lottery pick after lottery pick. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I think Houston wants to get back into the talk playoff pictures and to the talk. The championship we know they are far away from right now. Right. But I think Houston wants to get back into that playoff picture. Like to me and you, Brandon, because like we know it. Like James Harden, he's not going to help you. You know what I'm saying? Well, I take that back. He wins some regular season. They can't win some regular season games, but ultimately it's gonna end up flat. So, but there's people still down there in that organization that still believe in James Harden, and there's still people down there, and that, like I said, people in that organization that want to get a big splash back into, the NBA scene. And the only way you get a big splash is if you can have see the table with one of these, all-star players. And James Harden and Kyrie Irving are MVPs and all-stars the last couple of seasons. So I kind of understand that madness, but ultimately it's still madness.
Yeah, and here you want to talk about madness, that the Warriors are interested in possibly pursuing Chris Paul. If the Suns decide to release him or trade him or whatnot, that they're willing to do that. As much as I put the guarantee on Kevin Durant, John, I will put one on that Chris Paul will finish out his 1 or 2 years left of his career and not win an NBA championship. Even if he goes to the Warriors, they will not win.
Even if he goes to the Warriors.
Even if he goes there. There is no need for the Warriors to add him to that franchise, by the way. There's no need whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't really see that, Brandon. I don't see a way for Chris Paul to end up in Miami either. Dallas, maybe. But I think he kind of stays out west, man. I don't think there's really an East Coast team. There's no Boston going to reach out. There's no Milwaukee's going to reach out. I can see the Clippers, man, because who knows what's going to happen with Russell Westbrook. Yeah, man, you almost put the stamp of approval on that he ain't going to win a championship.
Nah, him and Durant, those two are on the list. Add it onto the list. Kevin Durant and Chris Paul will never win an NBA championship. Durant ever again, but Chris Paul will never, ever. He might as well go film more commercials for State Farm. Speaking of filming commercials, our guest here, he could probably film a few commercials himself over at Indiana Grand. D-Cot, what's going on?
Gentlemen. I had to chime in earlier. I don't know if you all have a guest coming on or not, but I want to give my 2 cents. I love the Chris Paul talk. I absolutely say Clippers by a landslide. I think he goes to L.A. I don't think that Russell Westbrook is the guy that's going to be there with Paul George and Mr. I was going to call him a nickname. I won't do that. Take it easy, Mr. Take It Easy.
You're doing Kawhi?
Yeah. Here's what I say. I say Chris Paul goes there. I think I'm not going to say a no-brainer, but it's the best fit for him and that unrealistic franchise and thinking they're one move away from a championship. He's effective enough for them to think that he's there. He's also the guy that was there before, right? And then all of a sudden, hey, he didn't get along with Blake. He didn't go along with this guy. So I think that's the place where he's going to land if and when he leaves the Arizona team. But what I want to talk about, man, obviously, I messaged you guys. Listen, we've got 8 days, and this is the most pivotal. You know where I'm going. This is the most pivotal summer of Indiana Pacers history. And I'm saying history because there's moves to be made. And where we are now at that 7th spot, I'm starting to like some of those guys in that 4 to 10 range, not to the point of where I say you stand pat and just take that guy and then deal with 26, 29, 31, and 55. I don't think we have enough there to make that happen. I'm going to tell you why. There's a team on the East Coast that has a very, very good player that they're being asked to pay almost $300 million contract to. That happens to be Mr. Jaylen Brown in Boston. If you think about it, Boston gave us, I don't like to say us, but I like, they gave the Pacers a good portion of their young talent. And they gave them their first-round pick. Not only did Boston not have a first-round pick, they're depleted of young talent. They've got a quandary because they've got two guys who are going to probably be looking at $600 million combined in contracts over the next 20 months. So with that said, there's no way, in my opinion, that Jalen stays there, because you can't get a guy, keep a guy, because here's why: you can't make past his third dribble is a turnover. He's not that guy. He proved that when he got hurt. Right. So he proved. Listen, I like Jaylen Brown, and all accounts I hear he's a good dude. He's just not the dude that states that max deal with the kid from Duke, because they are who they are. They won't have the ability to add guys. You got broken down.
That's a little pie in the sky, what you're saying. I ain't want to cut you off, D-Kai. That's a little pie in the sky. I think what you're saying is because of the money thing, but I think you're picking on the wrong team. No. Potentially. No, I'm saying I think there's another team out west that has a money problem, a similar money problem. Like Golden State has a similar money problem. Like they're into it. Like the issue that you're talking about that the Celtics and potentially get into with Jaylen Brown and signing. Golden State's into that right now. They don't know if they're going to resign Klay Thompson for $32 million or more. They don't know if Draymond Green's going to like re-up for $29 million or want more money. So like, I think Boston has enough money to keep Jaylen Brown. That would be a great come up, right? Jaylen Brown, they trade pick 7 and some of those other assets they have to get Jaylen Brown. I think they're gonna run with pick 7. I think Jaylen Brown stays in Boston. And I think potentially though, D-Kai, is that some of those later round assets might end up going to a team like Golden State, who has to shed contracts. Now I'm not saying we're gonna end up getting, you know what I'm saying, Draymond Green for pick 26 and pick, or you know what I'm saying.
Stop it. Do not bring
I'm
up.
not saying that.
Don't bring up this borderline good player to Indiana.
No. I'm saying
he's a hype machine.
No, I'm saying, but the price
I get excited.
Right, no. But the price could potentially package up some of those later round assets to pick at 19. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Wouldn't you rather be picking at 19? You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. So the Warriors got to shed money. The Warriors got to shed money. They got to get rid of, like, you know what I'm saying, whoever. You know what I mean? They don't really even want no rookies. Well, they got to take them, but you know what I'm saying? They really didn't want no contract to come back. So
they got young players. They got young players.
Right. So that's who's going to be playing next year. Moody's and the Kamingas of the world.
Kaminga and the guy who paid the money. Right. But check this out. Here's why I say Boston. We have a history with working with Boston, right? You've got the guy with right. We got the guy with his arms crossed up in the suites there at Boston, who coached over here in Broad Ripple. You know that guy? Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. So there's a history. That's why
he's gonna give us
exactly right. Exactly. He needs to. So what? And that's what I'm saying. There's no way Jaylen Brown is there, because the Boston's who they are. They don't have the flexibility to do anything beyond. Hold on. Listen, and here's the difference. Golden State's won it. Golden State won it 2 years last year. Boston hasn't. That's why I say Boston's going to be more desperate. Think about this. Big man can only shoot 3. They got a rim protector who's breaking down. Boston is. I'm telling you.
Oh, you're talking about
Boston.
They need to make. Right. Your point is taken, man. They need to make a trade or something, because
that's what I'm saying. They got to do something.
You can't depend on Malcolm Brogdon. You can't depend on Malcolm Brogdon to be your starting point guard.
Oh my God.
Or even Smart, because he's erratic.
So that's why I keep going back to Boston. We have a history, and there's a need, and we were happy last year. Both sides were happy.
You thinking Jaylen Brown? You thinking Jaylen Brown? The Patriots thinking Gordon Hayward.
No. But listen. Let me tell you something. Let me be clear.
I'm just being
I'm
honest.
not thinking. Listen. I'm not thinking Jaylen Brown to the Pacers. I'm thinking Boston is going to be in play for pick 3 with Portland. I think Jaylen Brown is a potential goal to Portland.
They're going to parlay it.
I don't think. No. Listen. I like Jaylen Brown.
A little conversation.
There's this kid from Arizona that the Pacers picked last year. His initials are BM. He's Jaylen Brown with a great attitude and great fire.
You think Ben
about
Mathurin
2 inches
is Jaylen Brown? I like Ben Mathurin.
He's short. Look, 2 inches shorter. But here's the difference. Have you ever seen Ben? Well, I know you have. You see him on the court. He's got fire. Man.
Absolutely.
He wants to fight. I was watching listen. Did you see Jaylen Brown or the kid from Duke get in anyone's face in the Miami series? You didn't.
I mean, no.
They don't have to fight, man. Ben is that type of guy. I'm not saying some tough, hard-nosed kind of. No. Ben just is not going to take any squat off anybody. And I don't want Jaylen Brown to be here because that's going to make somebody else have to take a further back seat. Because if he came here, we'd have to max him out.
Right. He's going all the balls. Yeah. Everything.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, look for Boston and Portland to do something.
I think the Pacers pick a big in next week. Next Thursday, I think the Pacers pick a big, a power forward or a center.
No, listen, I'm hoping that the Pacers don't have a 7th pick. That's my hope. They won't have a 7th pick, which means the Pacers have enough assets and draft picks to make 2 nice deals.
Well,
and if they don't
that deal though, I honestly think I'm thinking more and more that you make your pick at 7, and then I think Decot's going to be heartbroken eating his cake and drinking his beer at the draft party because I have a feeling that we're going to trade. Yeah, we'll trade the picks, which is good, but I can see them, Pritchard and Sem, saying, "Well, we got one guy here. We don't want to mess the chemistry up too much. We got a surplus, so we traded for a pick for next year's draft." That's what I'm afraid we're going to do. We're going to package these 3 picks for next year. We are. I'm telling you,
Brandon. I don't go live, but maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. If they do something like that, I'm gonna have Cott Jr. with me. I'm gonna have Tornado with me, and when the tornadoes, it's gonna be about 6 of us, right? I'm gonna tell you now, I'm gonna go live and hide the babies, hide the women and children, because I'm going in. Because there's no way you can go into this opportunity. Yes, absolutely. That's my problem. And we go back to the Pritchard conversation, right?
It's either going to be Whitmore or Walker. Whitmore for Villanova or Jarris Walker out of Houston. That's who the Pacers going to pick.
I like the kid from Houston, but I also like the Florida kid, right? He's starting to grow on me.
He did really. He had a good season, college season.
Yes,
he didn't impress his workouts, man. He did not impress his workouts.
But you know what? If I had a choice, Jonathan, I'd rather a guy have a good season and a bad workout.
6'9.5" and got a nice little touch, man, and can block shots. You thinking, why can't we put that with Miles Turner? We have a block party.
Hey,
I'm with you.
Hey, JB, I just listen. I have a premonition, and we may need to get a protection agency out for Decot and get him some help. And I'm not ashamed for getting people help when it's needed. But if they pick at 7 and they trade those 3 picks for a first round pick next year, and then the NBA, the 2024 draft comes out, and at pick 11, because we don't get the lottery that we think we should get, and we package that for the 11th pick, and we end up drafting Kyle Filipkowski from Duke as the power forward, then we're gonna have a problem.
Dude, I'm telling you, don't listen.
Get the Pepto-Bismol ready.
I'll say it. I'm gonna say it on draft night. If they do that, this is my last season as a season ticket holder.
What if they draft Bronny?
Because they don't.
What if they draft Bronny with it?
Come on, are you kidding?
No,
Brandon, are you kidding? Are you trying to excite me?
No, come on. You know who's going to come then, man. And they'll fill that role. They'll fill that power forward role.
And he'll come in a wheelchair. No, thank you.
Damn.
We need to look. We need to look for the future.
I'm trying to give you pie in the sky.
No, man, that's not pie. That's mud in the eye, man. That's not pie in the sky. So I'm just, all I'm saying is this: look out for Boston in this Portland deal. And so the Pacers may have to overpay. You know, I'm gonna tell you guys. I was telling my arch nemesis, you know who he is, and we agreed on something. And maybe he's listening. We need David West in year 5, not in year 10. That's what we need.
I go for that.
Think about it. We need David West in year 5. That's my point. So there's moves to be made, but we've got to make 2 moves. You've got about 3 or 4 really good players. You've got 5 picks in the first 55. You got a really, really favorable contract with Turner. I was telling him, my nemesis, what about the kid in Portland? What about the power forward? I always forget his name.
Simons?
He says he's, yeah. No. God dog it.
No, he's talking about Grant.
Grant. Jeremy Grant. So, he says he's going to sign with him. But here's what I said to my arch nemesis. Think about this. You got Grant. You got him matched up with Turner, potentially. But you may have to get rid of, let Turner go because depending on what you got. And then you say, okay, look at our depth. We've got, listen. You've got guards. You've got wings. You've got the ability to make some flexibility. And Grant is that athletic type of guy, right? We don't need him scoring 25 points a game. We don't need that, right? We need him defending in that wing. So there's so many options. I'm just telling you, it's 8 days. I'm nervous as a whore in church. I'm telling you, man. I just see bad things. I just need someone to
I'm going to talk you off the ledge, man. I'm going to talk you off the ledge. So we'll get 7. We'll get the guy from Houston or Central Florida, and then you'll be like, well, I kind of like it. I can deal with it, but we've got these other picks, and you'll be worried about that. And then pick 25 is going to come up, and everything's going to – the light of the sun is going to shine for you because your Pacers are going to fill that power forward position.
No, I know.
They're going to get your boy
from
the great University of Indiana. That's a shout-out for David Stern.
Listen.
Trace Jackson Davis.
Listen, I want a guy that can shoot past 12 feet. A guy that can shoot past 12 feet. Sorry, not drinking.
No, Trace should be gone.
Love it.
Actually, Trace should be gone before that.
Listen, I love Dale Davis Jr. I do. I think he's a good kid and all those wonderful things, right? But he's not the guy we need at that number. If you got to parlay this into difference-making guys. What'd you say, Jonathan?
If Trace is there at 26, you take him. But I don't think he's gonna be there.
But I don't think he's gonna be there. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's not that guy there, right? I think he's going about, I would say 18 to 23-ish.
I think that's
what I'm
higher.
thinking, right?
Yeah, I do.
I could be wrong. And I like him. Don't get me wrong. I don't like it.
He had a good workout, man.
In the first round.
He had a good workout.
He had a great workout.
He had a good,
but
yeah.
The workout don't make the man. I mean,
right. Here's the thing, though. Hey, listen. He's got great hands. He's got an NBA body. We always say that, right? He's got great hands. He's got really good footwork, and he has a lineage because of his dad, right? That NBA, he's seen it, right? So that can be a positive, right? But if he's at 26, okay, maybe you go with that. But it depends on what you do at 7. If you take 7 or if you trade it. You can't come in here with 2 more new rookies, man. You can't. I don't care. You can't. Your first 2.
The DraftKings Sportsbook right now has Jarace Walker at the 7th pick for plus 160. Taylor Hendricks plus 225. Osir Thompson plus 450, and then Anthony Black plus 750. So Walker, Hendricks, Thompson, Black in that order on the Sportsbook.
It hurts, man. Because I'm telling you. Think about the
Brandon Miller
we got
plus 6,000.
Listen. The only guy I would say, because I don't think we'll get 1 or 2, because I think those are set, and I don't think those guys aren't coming off of them. But if there's an opportunity at 3, the only way I would be okay with that, if we can get to 3, get Brandon Miller, and parlay 26, 29, some combination of that with some of those good players we've got for a guy like the kid in Portland, Grant. You got to think that way, man. But you'll have to give up something. Maybe it's Buddy Hield and Turner combination, something, right? You got to give up. You got to get something. You can't go in there saying we're happy with 7.
I think either Jalen Smith, or even I think you either got to trade him or Isaiah Jackson have to be gone after this draft.
It's going to have to be Isaiah. You know why? Because he doesn't give you the offensive dimension that the league is looking for, right? He can't shoot free throws. Outside the 8 feet, he's not there. He's going to guard the rim, and he's a good kid, by the way. I told you I talked to him at the last draft, the lottery party last year. Man, he's a nice young man. But that doesn't cut it on the court, though, right? So I say if we could combine them both, that'd be the perfect situation. You got a guy who can defend the rim, right, shoot the 3, and got a lot of energy. But that's impossible. So I say it has to be Jackson gone. You keep Smith, and you find you a younger guy who has a little more Trace Jackson, to your point, offensive capability that can still protect a little bit.
Okay.
So it's tough, man. I'm venting a little bit, but you know how I feel about this deal, man. I'm telling you, I can't. It's gonna be not good, man. I'm telling you, I'm gonna go live.
Hey, before we let you go, man. Well, I know you know what's your name he got the envelope to come to the actual draft. Hood Shafino. So they know he's gonna get drafted at least in the first round. Otherwise, you don't get invited.
Right. He's probably
he might even be a lottery pick, man. I had Hood Shafino kind of go somewhere between. Man, I think he might go to somewhere in 11, 12 range now, man.
So okay.
They talking about making him a point guard.
Okay, let me ask you this: do you, as a Pacers, do you have somebody to take your 7th pick and you trade back a little bit for a few more assets for potentially Ushafino as a backup point guard?
We don't have enough spots on the roster.
No more Hoosiers.
Yeah,
they not bring no more Hoosiers up in here, man.
Yeah, that was the problem that got us in trouble a long time ago. Was getting too many state of Indiana people.
Calvin Chaney turned his back on him when he went back to Bloomington.
Well, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you this.
Well, he's the coach.
That's the best thing that could have happened for him. Hey, listen. He was not a value member of that staff down there at Banker's Life. I saw enough of it. That girl was more value than Calvin Chaney. The blonde-haired girl with the clipboard patting everybody on the ass when they come back in the game.
Wow.
So he wasn't valued there. Great move by Mike Woodson again. Another great move by Mike Woodson. And Brandon, I know you remember you said, Brandon, about 6 months ago. Let's see what happens when he gets his players. The jury is still out. Let's see. But I'm gonna tell you now.
I'm not happy
you're
with that
going to
roster.
be surprised. You're going to be surprised what Mike does because people see
because
the good. Oh, of course.
Brandon, this is you talk that.
Oh my!
He's a fellow East Sider, man. Come on, y'all know the deal.
They gotta win a big game. They gotta win a big game.
That ain't happening, John.
I love.
You gotta win.
Brandon, we don't need your negativity, Brandon. We don't need your negativity here. Okay?
That's all they do is hanging up Big Ten titles down there in West Lafayette.
Hey, Woodson knows what he's doing. He's got Harvard coming to play IU in Cambridge. So, that'll pack the seats.
Oh, Lord,
seeing Harvard.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. You know what, Brandon, we're going to fight about this. You know, you
let me tell you this.
Towards my boys,
IU brings Harvard to the state of it, the state capital of Indianapolis to play, and Purdue brings Arizona. I don't know what to tell you.
That's a true story.
Here's what to tell you. Are you smart enough to bring Harvard? That's what that means.
Smart enough.
It's a psychological ploy, man.
Come on.
I love the move.
That's a cakewalk. That's a cakewalk.
I'm kidding. But back to my Pacers. 8 days away, guys. I'll be messaging you both, and I'm telling you, duck and listen, duck hard on Thursday night, the 22nd of June, if things don't go my way.
Oh, wow.
Sounds good, D-Cot.
So, I appreciate you guys. I'm going to listen on the radio on my phone, so I'll be able to listen. So appreciate the time, fellas. Y'all be safe and take care of yourself.
Hey, we'll get you. I want to talk to you next week. I want to talk to you the night before. We're doing our show next Wednesday night, so the night before the draft, I will see how the nerves are.
Dude, I'm gonna be nervous as a whore in church. I told you that. I already know.
Oh, wow.
I already know. I'm telling you.
All right.
So yeah, we'll talk Wednesday. Be safe, fellas. Take care.
Yeah.
All right, that's our guy D-Cot. Man, I'm a big Pacers fan myself. I'm not even that. I'm not that I'm not. Listen, I don't get myself all worked up about it because maybe we've been let down too much in the past. And it's not like here's my thing. I don't think this pick's if we get the 7th pick, all right, I think it'll be a good piece. I don't think it's a game changer. I don't think the 7th pick is a game changer for this team. I think it's a piece that's going to be something that's to develop. I honestly feel like Pritchard is going to trade our picks for something for 2024. And we've been let down before with this, and I think it's going to happen again. Unfortunately.
No, Brandon Reaper's been right about a couple things, man. I hate to admit it. So I hope he's right about Pritchard trade. I'll be wrong about that, man. They just need to.
I've been doing my research, John. Been doing my research, but
man, that's crazy.
Yeah, should be. Is Justin Fox calling in, John? I ain't seen him yet.
He said he was, man. Let me see where he's at with that, man, because I know he said he was moving around, man. So
yeah, no worries.
I know. So if we need to run, if we need to go to another segment, or you know what I'm saying, do an ad.
I got a segue we can go to while we're waiting, for sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, John, I sent you the message the other day, man. The XFL lost $60 million in the league's first season. $60 million. That type of league cannot flourish and stay around if you're losing $60 million.
Nah,
especially
man.
in the Rock's
You know
pockets.
what, Brandon? You should. So, but here's the thing, though, Brandon. It is a brand, though. Right. The concerning part for me is, I listen to a lot of sports radio. Besides our own show, you know what I mean? Let's start. There's a belief since this whole thing went down with the Saudis and PGA and Live Golf. There's a belief that at some point that, you know what I'm saying, somebody could buy into one of the other big three, but like back into it. So like last week we were talking about could you know what I'm saying, you got to have like damn near unanimous agreement to buy into an NFL team, right, amongst the owners, right? But what if an outside entity, I'm not going to pick on the Saudis because there's other, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote enemies of the United States, whatever, right? What if an outside entity bought a USFL team or an XFL team and started bankrolling it and said, hey kids, don't go to Alabama, come over here to play for me, or don't go to turn pro to play for the NFL, come over here to, you know what I'm saying? There's a thought process on that. You know what I mean? The XFL, at this point, though, Brandon, I kind of want to paint that picture into everybody's mind. Because the XFL at this point is just basically a brand. It's like the football players, like, who follows it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Losing that kind of money, dude. Like, who else could bankroll it other than somebody who's trying to like side action their way into American sports, man? ESPN tried to get behind it. They showed the games nobody was really interested in. They was more interested in like Stephen A. arguing about whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying, they orchestrated for him to argue about. You know what I'm saying? Yep. On the roast random Saturdays that I'm off, Brandon, I'm usually watching, you know what I'm saying, I'm clicking back and forth, you know what I'm saying, Major League Baseball and USFL. This is the second year for USFL. Now, you know what I'm saying, there's still a handful of teams and, you know what I'm saying, yeah, they're still playing and, you know what I'm saying, wacky little circumstances where only like 55, you know what I'm saying, fans show up or whatever. But like, their league is kind of, I'm not saying thriving, but it's surviving. I be honest with you, Brandon, I thought the XFL and the USFL, I think they're just kind of really trying to set themselves up to be like, to be bought.
Maybe Liv will buy them. Maybe the Saudis will buy them.
Well, I'm saying, I think the NFL, at some point, though, Brandon, check this out. At some point, like, I'm going deep down wormhole with you, bro. Because now I believe what you were saying like last year. The SEC and the Big Ten is getting ready to tell the NCAA to go stick it up their rear ear. They are.
Oh, yeah.
In the next 2-3 seasons. They're going to tell them to stick up their rear ear. Now, that don't mean the NCAA is going to fall apart. That means, like, maybe these mid-majors and maybe these other schools that, like, the Virginia Tech of the world, you know what I'm saying, or whoever don't go to the SEC alignment or the Big Ten realignment, like, they stay with the NCAA, you're gonna have your fair share shot of winning whatever title, whatever tournament that's going to come up. Because I don't know how, when the SEC and Big Ten break away, how that's going to affect the Final Four. I don't understand. I don't know that part. But football is going to change. Okay? So at some point, though, like Brandon, college football is not, it's a competitor now. Ain't it? It ain't a buddy no more. It's a competitor now. Now, Zach Edey could have got, I know that, who the hell? Zach Edey could have got drafted, y'all. He chose to go back to school because guess what? School paying more money. Well, if school's paying more money now than they are for kids to go stay in school, right? Then I don't need, you know what I'm saying, little Junior Manning getting beat up down there in Texas. We can get him beat up down there in USFL, Memphis Gamblers or whatever. You see what I'm saying? We can put him on on our pace, not, you know what I'm saying, on a farm system instead of going to college. You know what I'm saying? So I think, hey man, 4 or 5 years from now, man, the way we see professional football and college football is going to look totally different. The XFL won't totally phase out, but to wrap it all into a neat little bud. But like, man, that's crazy how much that money they just blew away, man. You said $690 million?
Lost $60 million this past year.
Oh wow, $60 million. So, but like, yeah, it's a brand that somebody will buy and somebody thinks that they'll be able to inflate.
Breaking news coming across the Crossroads Sports Wire. John, the SEC has released their football conference opponents for 2024. And most people will be like, well, why the hell is that breaking news? Well, this is where the SEC goes to an 8-game conference schedule. And it is also now the schedule with Texas and Oklahoma both in the conference. So without further ado, I'm going to give you some of these games. The Texas Longhorns, John, their first year in the SEC. Here are their 8 conference games. At home, they take on Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, and Mississippi State. On the road, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Vanderbilt. So they still got their matchup with Oklahoma, but they are at home against Georgia, and they are coming in.
So you mean to tell me Texas, that's their lineup?
For the conference, yes.
Wow. Wow.
Let me give you Oklahoma. Oklahoma's schedule. Home games.
They didn't do them no favors.
South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Alabama. On the road, Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss, and Missouri. So they got to go to Auburn. They got to go to Ole Miss. They got to go LSU, but they get Crimson Tide at home, and they get Texas at home and Tennessee at home. So Oklahoma, that road schedule is a little brutal. You got to deal with Alabama. Not looking good for Oklahoma, especially the down year they had previously last year. And we haven't done our previews yet.
Brandon, I almost trust Oklahoma better to navigate that particular schedule. Auburn, they shouldn't fear Auburn right now. They shouldn't, not in the next 2-3 seasons, not right now. Alabama, especially, going back, this is probably going to be a down year a little bit for Alabama, obviously with the transitional quarterback. And
we're 2 years away. 2 years away.
But so, man, oh my goodness.
Alabama's schedule.
That's a murder's row for Texas.
Here's Alabama. Home games.
Dang word.
Auburn, Georgia. So Alabama and Georgia play in the regular season in 2024 at Alabama, Missouri, and South Carolina. On the road, LSU, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. That's a tough road schedule for Alabama. Tough, regardless of Oklahoma being in there. So
I like, Alabama back then. They'll be them bounce back in full strength, man. But like, could you imagine a two? Yeah, we're gonna have to. We've seen it before. A 2-loss SEC team going to the national championship.
possibly. And go ahead and put this in our college football tickler file that we'll have later on this year when we do our preview show for college football this summer. The first SEC coach to be fired this year will be Jimbo Fisher.
Damn, Brandon, you always coming with these. Come up with something enlightening, man.
What?
Something nice.
Have you? Come on, man. They were horrible last year.
Hold on, y'all. Kevin Durant ain't gonna never win a championship
Again.
Jimbo Fisher's gonna be the first SEC coach to get fired.
But this is the same guy also that said, "Hey, everybody, LeBron's going back to Cleveland," and everybody called me crazy. Everybody called me stupid, dumb. What happened, John? I'm still hanging that one in the banners. He came back to Cleveland, and there was something else as well. I called out that Matt Rule going to Nebraska, called that, hanging it in the rafters. I'm giving you the handbook in front of you. You just need to listen. That's all you got to do. Just gotta listen. Speaking of it, we'll bring our guy on, Justin Fox, Epic Podcast. How are you, my man?
Man, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, I'm good, brother. Just preaching to the masses tonight. Just preaching to the masses.
Look, I almost dropped out after you said Jimbo gonna get fired. I'm like, man,
Hey.
Really?
Yeah, man. They can't have another down year down there in Aggie land. They ain't gonna allow it.
No, not down there in Texas. No, they cannot.
No, you can't be the third best team in the state.
That's tough.
Can't be the third best team. Justin, before Jonathan, I have to ask you. This is I gave my piece on it. Jonathan gave his. I gotta ask you, man. Zion Williamson, he's went through hell this last week, my man. What's your thoughts on that whole mess with Zion Williamson? And I mean, he's taking it like a champ, but I told John, the girl, she did her part, but then now she's just kind of running over the grave and just keeps running over it with the vehicle.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. I hate to say this, but he's put himself in a bad position. For something like this to come out for a guy who we never see on the basketball court, it's just a bad look all around. So, and I hate to say this, he chose the wrong one. It don't even seem like she's going to stop no time soon. Like she's on it strong. So I don't even see an ending in sight anytime soon. It's a bad situation.
Gee, man, when I saw her, when she made the comment about the Cokes in the bathroom, I was like, come on now.
Yeah.
The snack cakes, the Cokes. Oh, hey, as Jonathan said, man, she was just in love. She got her heart broke.
Yep. She heartbroken. She acting out of anger right now out of that emotion.
Yeah. I think in a mean Twitter handle. Oh my goodness.
I think there's an R&B song about this.
They might need to put her on pause for a week or two.
Yeah, I hope Grandma ain't on Twitter. I hope Zion Williams' Grandma ain't on Twitter. Man,
oh.
Bro.
Coach K just rolling over his grave.
Speaking of Raw, man, we got Justin Fox on from the Epic Podcast, y'all. Y'all know he's the family networks here at Crossroads Sports, man. But, we check out y'all show from time to time, probably every week, you know what I'm saying? Be honest with you. But, y'all was talking boxing a couple of weeks ago, and that's something here at Crossroads Sports, you know what I'm saying, we kind of lax on, unfortunately, man. Besides the chaos that was John Gotti and Floyd Mayweather, man, I know there's a serious, there's at least with the fandom. I know the boxing entities are still kind of position themselves for position of power, but there's a fan swell people want to get back into boxing, like how it used to be. Mm-hmm. Like how it used to be, but I don't think everybody knows all the names of the players anymore, man. But you yourself have never got out of that, man. I kind of where are your thoughts on? Well, I got a couple more questions about the game, but how do you see boxing right now?
I think you're going to see it take a upswing because Gervonta Davis fought Ryan Garcia, which were two young names in boxing. And I think that made guys understand that you don't have to have the O at the end of your record like Floyd. There are so many fights to be made. This past weekend, Teofimo Lopez fought Josh Taylor, who was the undisputed champ at 140. And it was a heck of a fight, and Teofimo Lopez ended up winning that. He came out afterwards threatening to retire because he only made $1 million from the match. And a lot of guys came out talking about how boxing has to get that fixed. You know, there's some guys who are making the money and others not. But right now, I mean, you got a lot of names, especially in the 135 and the 140. You got a lot of names and a lot of guys who you should see fighting here very soon.
Is there too many? Here's my thing with boxing, and I like it. And I grew up with my uncle watching him box, and training. And he was watching. I remember when I was little watching Mike Tyson fights and training with some of the trainers that Tyson's used and all that. But is there too many? For me, I'm sitting here looking at the champions list right now, from all the divisions. To me, there's just too many champions of the WBO, the IBF, WBA, WBC, and some of these like Devin Haney, he owns all 4 titles in the light heavyweight division, and then you got the junior welterweight where there's 4 different champions. So, how does somebody that wants to get into boxing, how do you decide? Okay, which title, which division, or I don't know, promo or promotion or WBO, which one's better than the other, or should they combine them as a unanimous one, or what? I don't know, because there's just way too many.
You're right on. You're spot on, Brandon. It's too many belts, and I've even said I think it's too many weight classes now. Mm-hmm. I think they started spreading guys so thin it does make it hard to follow it. They just so happen to got pretty lucky right now where you got to stretch. Heavyweights are kind of watered down, so you don't really hear much about the heavyweight division. Even the middleweight, the welterweight, you okay because that's where you got Earl Spence and Bud Crawford. But then, like I said, when you get to that 135 and 140 with guys like George Kimbosa, you have Devin Haney, you have Gervonta Davis, you got Shakur Stevenson. You got some guys that people haven't heard of, like a Keyshawn Davis, a Frank Martin. One guy who gets overlooked is Antoine Russell, who is younger brother of Gary Russell, who used to be lightweight champion, if I'm not mistaken, or featherweight champion. He held that belt for years. There are some guys out there, but there is a problem in boxing that they have to get fixed, because part of what you just said is the issue is too many different promotions. And it's already been said, some promotions refuse to make fights with other promotions because of money, of course. Right. So they got to get that fixed.
What was your take on the Mayweather Gotti incident from this past weekend? Because I told John, I don't know who you'd be more scared of, the money team or the mafia. Which one should you be scared of?
Both. Both. It was, I hate to say it, part of me says it's always something surrounding Floyd Mayweather, it seems. I don't know if it's publicity stunts he does just to keep himself relevant. Because it's not for money. We all know, he has the money. That's not what it is. But I don't know if it's his aim to kind of keep his name relevant or if that was really something going on there, because he did embarrass the guy. I didn't watch all that because a lot of that I'm not into. I like actual boxing. But he did start to embarrass the guy. And, hey, I don't care who you are. Pride comes into play at a certain point. And you could tell Gotti's pride that pride started coming out, and that's really what got that whole thing going. But I don't know. That could have been a really bad situation, though. Like you said, that's two crews that you probably don't want to mess with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do like the fact that different people are trying to get the boxing realm more. I don't want to say more popular, but getting it back in the front. You've got Jake Paul. He's had some fights here. He's got that following with the younger generation on TikTok and whatnot. He's got a match coming up in August, I think, with Nate Diaz. I saw an ad for that recently. I've been kind of intrigued just to see how his matches. Now I know he's been picking fights that obviously we know, hey, you're going to win this fight most likely. We're going to pick you to there, have you fight this guy. But I'm kind of looking forward to the Diaz fight, seeing how those two. And I think it's any move you can do to get more spotlight on boxing, especially the younger generation, because this is a generation that's going to obviously either kill the sport or carry the sport on. So I kind of like seeing it and what Jake Paul's kind of doing.
It's actually good. At first, I'll be honest, I didn't like it, but then I talked to a guy who was really in tune with boxing back in the day. So and I asked him about it, and he brought a good point. He said the thing is, it's what you said. They got to get more eyes on boxing. So if you can have those fights with all the followers that follow them, and it starts to generate some interest in boxing in general, maybe they can get the public back into the corner of the boxing where, you have the sold out stadiums and all that stuff. But right now, it's about getting as many eyes as possible back into boxing. And that's what they're trying to do. So I understand what he's doing. I mean, you can say what you want, but he has a huge following, and people support him and buy those pay-per-views. So it's working.
Right. Justin got his own sideshow, the Foxhole.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a sideshow. It's like a spinoff. Everybody remembers.
Yeah, you get the spinoffs. It's like Birdsong's pre-shows.
Yeah, right, the pre-show. But listen, like what has been coming? I know you had at least 2 guests. I know you had the homie from Purdue. I appreciate that, man. Because everybody don't look out for the Purdue guys.
Yep. Dave Teague. Yep, I had Dave Teague on there.
One of the best shooters. And
then I had and then Keith Palmer, who that's one of the guys. He has a history in the fight game. So I kind of got him on there to one of those things where boxing and MMA kind of get overlooked. So I got him on there because he used to train fighters. He used to fight himself. So the Foxhole, man, it's just one of those things where I try to get some one-on-one action with some interesting guests, man, and try to switch it up. Give folks a different view on some things. Because like you said, some things when it comes to especially like sports, you don't get to hear some of the backstories or how people got to where they were, and it's just a good opportunity to have those type of conversations.
Low key, I had a David Teague jersey, John, back in the day, number 2 when I was
number 2.
Somewhere I still have it. I don't know where it's
For real?
Oh yeah, David Teague number 2.
Oh,
it was the gold jerseys what I had of his.
Nice.
Man. So. Oh man, shout out to Purdue, shout out to David Teague. Well, hey man, because I know you don't you gotta get to the Epic podcast?
Yeah, we have that tonight. But I won't be able to get on tonight on that one because I have another engagement. So
okay. Well, I didn't want to hold you, man, but I did want to deep dive a little bit more about a little bit football talk with you. Because I know, what I mean, it's still a little early, and you know what I'm saying. But AFC, you know what I'm saying, between I thought it was gonna be Buffalo's year to like at least, but like it doesn't seem like, you know what I'm saying, they got some internal strife. So maybe the North Division, maybe somebody from the North Division got a shot. I don't know. I'm picking on the North Division, y'all. I'm picking on North Division because our two people listening, everybody listening right now, everybody knows Brandon Reeve loves the Pittsburgh Steelers, and everybody now knows that that Justin likes the Ravens, man. So
I'm glad you said that.
I'm asking.
Well,
go ahead.
I will tell you, and Justin, you'll be proud of me as a Steeler fan, and because I like to when I bet, I like to bet with my head. John, I have placed a pre-pick for NFL MVP this year on Lamar Jackson. I went ahead and just put a bet in there. It was plus 25 or plus 2,500, and I put 50 in on him because I think this dude may come out and have a better year. He doesn't have to worry about the drama, all the side stuff that's going on. He doesn't have to worry about that. He can go out there and play football, have a full season. I think the dude's got a chance to be MVP this year. I really, really do. And that's hard for me to say being a Steeler fan.
I'm proud of you. I am. I'm proud of you for that.
MVP. Well, Aaron Rodgers,
I can see it.
MVP conversation. So
No.
Aaron,
I can
who?
agree with that.
No. Not a
No.
chance.
Damn.
No.
Come on,
Y'all
John.
just said
No.
who now?
No way.
How you see the AFC or particularly the North?
Careful.
Man, the North is gonna be tough. I will say this. I actually think Cincinnati's gonna take a step back this year. I just think they're relying on a lot of young guys this year to step up, and I think that division is gonna be tough. But I think they take a step back in that division. They could very well finish last. I know Deshaun Watson got brutalized because he looked bad, but actually towards the end of the year he started looking much better. So I'm expecting Cleveland to be better, but still I think Pittsburgh and Baltimore the cream of the crop in that division. Pittsburgh by far, you say what you want, but Mike Tomlin has those boys playing every year. It doesn't matter who's on the field. He finds a way to get them playing. And they picked up some pieces, man. I mean, they addressed some issues on that offensive line. I like obviously the Joey Porter Jr. pick. You know, they got a lot of things going for them, but you know, I will say that
How does that happen? How does that happen, Brandon? How does that happen?
I was shocked.
Everybody said, "No, we don't want Joey Porter Jr. We're gonna let
I was
Pittsburgh
shocked.
take him."
I guess.
Here was the funny thing, though. I don't know if you guys realize, but like the closer we got to the draft, the more you started hearing people trying to pick apart like little things about him, and I'm like, you guys are just searching for things. The kid can play. Look at the tape. But
I think a lot of people
we see it happen every year.
Just because he had one interception. That's all he had last year in the season. I think that's what people are like, oh, he only had one interception. Do you think maybe it's because the quarterback just didn't throw his way? I mean,
exactly.
But yeah, putting him back there with Patrick Peterson, they got in the offseason as well. I mean, yeah, you lost Cam Sutton. I thought that was a huge miss. But Peterson and Patrick Peterson back there, and then adding in Joey Porter, I think the secondary is looking – and even the Purdue guy, Corey Trice, you know, let's see what he can do back there to help him out. Fit that in with Minka. Boy, that secondary.
Yeah, but you're saying with Minka? Mm-hmm.
That secondary. But you're watching.
Hey, but you guys need Watt to stay healthy.
Oh,
because that pass rush is not the same when he's not on the field.
100%. 100%.
So, and that's the biggest question I think for Baltimore is going to be, can they generate a pass rush? Because offensively, I'm very interested to see what the offense looks like. Because I've been saying for 2 years they needed to get rid of Greg Roman. He's not creative enough on offense. And when you got a guy like Lamar, you have plenty of opportunity to get really creative. I hate the fact that they don't use him under center. I'm like, play actions are so effective when quarterbacks are coming from under center. Bootlegs are so effective, but Greg Roman refused to do those type of things. But one thing Baltimore is going to have to do, they are going to have to see if Owe can step up, if Ajabo, if what he looks like this year. Obviously, Roquan Smith came over and looked really good. Patrick Queen's going to have a big year. Because they drafted a kid out of Texas. I can't think of his name right now. Another linebacker who's a pretty good cover linebacker. So Patrick Queen's going to have to play. I mean, he's going to have to play. So I think defensively we could be okay. The pass rush is the big question. I'm happy they got rid of Marcus Peters. Let that be known. I was not a big Marcus Peters guy. He takes too many gambles and gives away too many big plays for me. But Marlon Humphrey has to play better this year too, so he has to step it up.
John, they got Rock Ya-Sin on that roster as well. Your boy.
Oh yeah.
From the coach. Yeah, from back in the coach. From the coach.
How many games until Odell
played with the Raiders
pissed?
last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah. So.
Well, hey man, again, like I said, Justin Fox from the Epic Podcast. I'm glad you finally called in, man. We go send out an
I apologize about that. Yeah, look, I apologize about. Yeah. That's on me.
We got some real good. We got some real good Pittsburgh Steelers Ravens talk.
We need to do it the week of the game.
I bet you won't be that cordial. It won't be that cordial after week 4. After week 4, hold on. When they play this year?
It's week 4. Week 4 in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, after week 4, we have Justin Fox.
We don't go up to that scumbag Baltimore place until later on in the year. So that week, me and Justin will be fighting those 2 weeks. I only fight with Justin 2 weeks a year, and it's going to be those 2 weeks.
All right, hey, that's fine because we're looking forward to coming to Pittsburgh and winning one right there in your home.
Oh, wow.
All right.
With the MVP. Hold on, Justin.
Oh, yeah. With the MVP. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, look, Odell's gonna have a big game for y'all that week. He gonna save it just for that week for y'all.
Yeah, he better. He may not have
him
and
Zay Flowers.
He may not have many
JJ
left.
Watt might have some to say about
I mean,
that.
the best. I mean,
JJ Watt might.
As much as I called him going to be, I'm putting a bet on him just to be the MVP. Maybe he'll jinx him. I don't know, but I mean, the Pro Bowl quarterback's going to be holding his helmet on the sideline, right?
Wow. Right.
He was a Pro Bowler.
I think he is going to be on the sideline.
He was a Pro Bowler.
Man, you and I both know that's a travesty when the NFL names a guy who had more interceptions and touchdowns a Pro Bowler. Come on now. Come on.
Oh, I saw that. I said, oh, my. And they re-signed him. Said, man, we got to re-sign this guy as a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Well, breaking news.
I think there was a problem there, though.
Yeah.
We didn't have Lamar, so you had to get a quarterback on the roster.
Right. I mean, I saw breaking news today on the Steelers side. Offensive coordinator Matt Canada said, we got to score more points this year. Well, no shit. You got to score more points. I mean, I've been trying to get him fired for 3 years now because of his deep little dink and dunk plays that he does. And he's just, I don't know. Like, he's like, yeah, we struggled offensively. Well, no shit. You struggled offensively. Like, it's terrible. I told John I need to get rid of him. You still need to get rid of him. They want to keep him because Matt Canada's had a past as well with Kenny Pickett before Pickett was even a Steeler, back when he was in Pittsburgh and at the college. Because Canada was there with him. And Canada actually coached I don't know, not AAU, but AAU style version of football back when they were in high school. Right. Canada coached him as well. Mm-hmm. We just need to move on from Canada, get him out of there, get an offensive coordinator back in there that can You want to strike it up a little bit? Get me what's his face? Not Wizard.
You want Chris?
No. Before, who did we have after the guy that always fought with Ben, and then they finally Todd Haley. Shit, bring Haley back in there. At least he had a set and was able to call some plays.
You do not want no Todd Haley, Brandon. You do not. I mean, you might want Matt Canada gone. You do not want no Todd Haley.
John, Super Bowl champion.
champion. Let him bring Haley back.
Super Bowl champion.
Bring Haley back. Yeah, bring him back.
Brandon don't respect USFL.
No, USFL sucks.
I'm cutting that. Audio.
Go ahead. Hey, Justin, real quick before we go, and last thing, thoughts on the NBA Finals? Nuggets winning in 5 games, kind of a gentleman's sweep. Far better team. Heat just kind of looked like they got tired, worn out. Jimmy Buckets went away. Thoughts on the finals that wrapped up the other night?
I mean, good for Denver, man. I actually been saying now that people got to really start giving Joker some respect, man. People still disrespect him, man, but all he does is go out and he produces. And he produces at a high level. I don't care who it's against. So I thought it was awesome. But I had the same feeling that you did. I said, you could tell Miami just ran out of gas, man. It took so much for them to get there. Jimmy wasn't the same. Their guys, I mean, whether it was Strus or Dr. Robinson was hit and miss, but the guys weren't hitting. You know, Gabe Vincent wasn't hitting. They just struggled all around. Bam didn't look great. He put up some shots finally, but the efficiency wasn't where it needed to be. So all in all, I mean, I think it was actually a decent final, even though people didn't want to. I know a lot of people kind of were bashing it, but I thought it was a decent final, man. Because seriously, my hat goes off to Joker. Dude's a stud, man. Dude's a stud.
I told Jonathan I thought this year's version of Andrew Wiggins in the finals was Aaron Gordon 100%.
Oh, 100%. 100%. He was huge for them. And think about his story. I was talking about this yesterday. You get drafted to Orlando, where you're pretty much wasting away, and then you finally get revived and get some life, man, and you go to a team that gives you an opportunity to win. And for him playing a role in that run there, I mean, I thought that was awesome. Even Michael Porter Jr., you know, from the back injury to being able to get to this point, or even Murray, you know, with the ACL injury. It's just, I mean, it's a good story to go along with that. So
yeah, Porter just doesn't do it for me, man. He takes way too many bad shots, way too many, and he pulls. He demands the ball and he pulls like he's a number 1, but when you're really like a number 4 on the team.
He's Kyle Kuzma Jr.
I mean,
Wow,
yeah.
not Kyle Kuzma Jr.
I mean,
Don't do him like
on
that.
another team,
I
you'd be
mean-
putting up Kyle Kuzma type of numbers.
Kuzma doesn't throw up. There's some bad shots that Porter shoots. Really bad. Like,
He does.
it's.
He does.
And I'm going to
Kyle
blame it for
Kuzma,
me young.
Kyle Kuzma, bad shot? Are you serious?
No,
In the Lakers uniform?
Kuzma doesn't shoot that many
He was
bad
tall?
shots. Nah. You just
That's 'cause you want him here
disrespected
to-
him. I
with the
can't
crazy.
believe that.
Anyway, man.
So.
Anyway, hey man, Justin, it's a pleasure, man, having you on, man.
Man, always my
We
pleasure,
will
man.
do-
I appreciate you guys.
We will do it again soon.
All right, I'm looking forward to it, man. And as we get closer, go through training camp and all that, I hope all these teams stay healthy because Baltimore is looking to take that division, Brandon. Don't worry about it.
All right, Justin. We'll get you on soon, man. We'll chop it up for NFL.
All right, sounds good, guys. Thanks again.
Yep, no problem. Go Steelers.
All right.
I gotta get that last word.
Later.
See you, bud. Oh shoot, Justin Fox, the
You
Epic
gonna hang
Podcast, also host of the
I'm gonna get the
Foxhole.
last. I'm gonna get the
podcast.
last word. Don't worry about it.
I need to listen to that. I need to put that on my thing. I need to put it in my favorites for the Foxhole. That's a neat name. I don't think I can.
Right.
I don't think I could do something like that, like the Coral Reef. No, that doesn't sound.
Oh, here you go.
That
Somebody
doesn't-
get sued, man.
Uh-oh. Adam Schefter. Don't give me some breaking news in the NFL tonight at 8 o'clock.
What you got, man?
This is
What you got?
groundbreaking, John. Groundbreaking, earth-shattering. Breaking news, Adam Schefter on Twitter. Free agent quarterback Carson Wentz has been spending time in Tampa, John, throwing and studying film with former head coach John Gruden. Wentz wants and intends to play this season and is awaiting the right situation.
Man, is that breaking news?
Yeah, apparently it is.
Man, here's what it is, man. Whatever heebie-jeebies that Carson Wentz has had or whatever healing that he probably potentially still in need, I hope he gets it, man, because at one point, man, he flirted with an MVP. You know what I mean? And he had the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I mean? He's the one that got them to what they end up that year, like 14-2 that year before he got hurt or something like that, or something like 13-1 before he got hurt, and then that's when they put in Mr. Magic, and he kind of got them to the championship. But like, man, Carson Wentz, I know he's taking a beating in the craft and with the coach and the vaccine and all that, man. But obviously the kid's got some, he got some quarterback talent, man, and he's gonna get a second and third, and now another chance. There you go. More power to him.
On a serious note,
yeah.
A report came out today from Pro Football Talk, John, that last year one NFL player lost over $8 million in gambling. I think there's a problem. I think there's, at the surface, you see the Colts guy getting busted for gambling. Another one here or there last year with Ridley, or 2 years ago with Ridley. I think if you look below that iceberg, it isn't just at the top. I think it's massive, especially when you allow, in your bylaws, when you allow players to gamble, as long as they're not in the team facility. I think, if anything, you have to outlaw it outlaw it completely. Because if a guy goes across the street from his hotel and bets and then comes back, not on the NFL, but another sport or whatnot, there's way too much gray area, John. I think, and like Indianapolis Colts, you see in Lucas Oil Stadium, Caesar Sportsbook plastered all over the place, and there is so much gray area.
Right.
They got to do something, because before long, all these cases are going to keep coming out. The integrity of the game, the shield, is going to start getting some cracks in it, I feel.
Yeah, man. I don't even know. Like, Isaiah Rodgers
He's
it
going to be
hasn't
done.
come out yet.
No, but he's going to be done.
He's kind of already.
He'll never play in the NFL again.
Well, he's gonna be done. But like, it's one thing. Here's this level for gambling to me. I go in and buy a scratch off. That's gambling. You know what I mean? I'm an NFL guy. I want to go buy a scratch off.
You can do that.
So like, why in the hell would you go betting on a game a game that I'm in?
Right?
That's crazy, right there. A game that I'm in,
Suicide.
I'm not betting.
Career suicide.
Right? Automatic. And then I wouldn't bet. I still would. And then ancillary. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't bet on any game of a company that I'm in. You see what I'm saying? The company that I keep.
Right.
That doesn't make sense either. You know what I'm saying? So, like, maybe guys need to stay an extra year in school or something, man. I don't know, man, because that doesn't make
they do classes
this morality tell
and training.
Major League Baseball shows you what being Pete Rose. Pete Rose ain't gonna never be a Hall of Famer because he bet on the game of baseball. This dude had $2 million. I said it last week. He had $2 million due to him. This $2 million, man. Another one of these other punk leagues might take him. He ain't gonna get $2 million out of him.
Yeah.
Man, good luck, bro.
Yeah, it was reported the NFL prohibits all non-players from betting on sports. Players, for reasons neither obvious nor apparent, are permitted to illegal wager on non-NFL games and events. Makes zero sense why they allow that. Per league source with knowledge of the situation, one NFL player lost $8 million last year through gambling. Again, the NFL fully controls the gambling policy with no input from the Players Association. And the league, inexplicably, has decided to let players legally bet on sports, even though non-players cannot. I don't. How much money are other players betting? How much are they losing? The house always wins, right? Over the long haul. The house hopes you become more sufficiently embodied by short-term success. You won't. You'll lose. They win. You lose. I guess I think it's the tip of the iceberg. I think we're going to see a lot more of it come through as more time comes.
Because can football players have their own little points league? You know what I'm saying? Fantasy football?
They can. And there's probably gambling on that as well with their fantasy leagues. Because a lot of them promote it.
And I would leave that alone. Again, that's like a game that I'm in.
Right.
I don't know, man. They said they potentially Isaiah Rodgers bet on some college football games, and that's kind of still too close to the thing. So I just don't understand. You know what I'm saying? You need some money, go out.
Yep.
I don't understand, man. It's crazy to me.
We'll take a call real quick before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Crossroads Sports, who we got?
What's up, fellas? What's going
up, Mike?
On? What's going on?
Oh, just
what's going on?
Trying to wrap my head around this. These NFL players gambling, sports betting, man.
So what you guys have to understand, this is just my take on it. The flavor of the month now, gambling is just as, gambling is obviously underworld. And underworld is just as much as the sports as it is the balls that you play with. So as far as the tip of the iceberg, they're not going to let it get too far. They never have. With baseball, you had them fixing, the mob was involved in that. What was it, 1909, the White Sox, the Black Sox or whatever. They always had that entity. So they're not going to take it away. That will be just like saying, hey, if somebody has a drinking problem, but then you turn around and you have Anheuser-Busch as your sponsor. So you're not going to, what they'll probably do is they'll come out and say, oh, well, we have these programs for the we have programs for the different teams. If you have gambling, you know what they do. You know how they do at the end, the little ticker tape. That's just to check off the boxes. But they're not going to get away with it because it's money. And it's a sponsor. It's like you said, Brandon, about the plastered up, the Caesars and all those things. They're not going to do. It's unfortunate, but gambling has been around since the beginning, fellas. It's not going nowhere. I bet you such and such can't hit that shot. I bet you $200 you can't tackle this guy. Sound familiar?
Oh, yeah.
There was a coach that almost got cost a possible trip to the Super Bowl for it. So they're not going to. There's so many levels of gambling that what can you do? But some people don't know how to keep they're moths to the flame. Some people don't know how to stay away.
And you have geofencing.
You said earlier in the show.
That's why they said they have geofencing on your phones. They have the research to sit there and say, okay, who's your inner circle? Well, we can look up this person if they have an account. And then if this person are together at this time, they have ways to look up.
Yeah, you dummies or whatever.
Exactly. I don't know how you think you can get away with it.
Well, there's a sucker born every minute, man. I mean, all the silly things that people do every year. I hate to say it, but every year somebody does something foolish. Like you were saying earlier about Zion. I mean, it was what's his name before? It was Paul George before that. It's always somebody doing something with these strippers, stripping, women trying to get people for money, gambling. Man, look, that's just like somebody saying, "Well, I want more people to come
That's
here."
right.
Well, you got to think about what's coming with what you want.
Right.
So you can have the positive and you're gonna have the negative. You can't have one without the other. So unfortunately, some people are going to get burned. Some moths are going to get too close to the flame and burn out. Not everybody, but somebody is. That's just the unfortunate truth. You know, unfortunately, that's just what it sucks.
Speak it, Rev.
You hate to hear about
I'm gonna start
people
calling you the
losing
Reverend.
money and all that. No, it ain't that. It's just balance. It's just balance. Some people just know better. You know, people drink too fast. People drive too fast.
Yep.
People gamble too much.
Yeah.
Hell, people put too much sugar in their food. Hell, sugar is more addictive than anything on the planet. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You going to stop eating cookies and candy?
Hell no.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
You cut it back, though.
yeah. Well, man, I
trying.
know you guys are getting ready to get off. I just wanted to chime in on that, man. Keep up the good work. And, man, I heard you
Mike,
carry
what you
on
think?
about them Pacers. Dude, that 7 pick ain't going to mean nothing. They got to spend money in that, man, that draft, man. They got to spend. You see what I posted?
Yep.
They don't want to spend no money.
I was going to ask you what you thought about this, the end of the season, both from the Pacers standpoint and the NBA playoffs.
I put it in there that the Pacers, I'm sorry, I'm still stuck a couple years ago when they had all those free agents at the same time. That means you're not really trying to spend smart money. You're not trying to spend no money, and you have to grow the culture. You have to make it. You have to make it to where people want to come here. Man, I've been saying that for the last 30-some years. You have to make it to where people want to come here. You know, if you don't make it to where you're going to come here, then you're going to spend. Yeah, and that comes from the top to the bottom. You can't. I mean, you can draft somebody, but you ain't gonna want to pay them. So what's gonna happen? Then they're gonna get good and they're gonna leave.
Yep.
Like they've always done. So it doesn't matter who you get in the draft. If you ain't trying to look, if you ain't trying to get in that, if you're not trying to get out here and dive in on some of these picks and I mean, okay, the draft is one thing. Well, then what else you gonna do? I think one of y'all said it, or D-Top might have said it. The talent.
Yeah, no, I think for this year, for next year, the Pacers are trying to get back into playoff contention where they matter. You know what I'm saying? The city wants that money. I'll be honest with you. The city wants that money. You know what I mean? And the Pacers probably want that money too. The Pacers probably should want that money. That would come from being on TV and having a young team, exciting team, and all those things that can win. You know what I'm saying? You have an all-star in Halliburton. Like, how are you supporting that? You know what I mean?
That's what I was going to say. What are you going to do?
I'm not saying now. Championship is different level because championship means you got to entertain one of these all stars, you know, superstar, megastars, whims of like what they want and all that. And I'm gonna say the Pacers want to pay you the money, and you just gonna play basketball. We ain't trying to. They're not trying to like help whatever.
Right.
That you're trying to do with your brand, and I think that's what happens
until the free agency. Not to cut you off, until they dive into free agency, because it's a balance. Until you dive into that free agency,
they have no money.
That's what's going to make it.
They hold on, man. Paul George had free agents. They brought free agents for Paul George.
They did, but you know what I mean. Consistency.
They got to now they have addressed who their all-star is. I think that's Tyrese Halliburton. And it's an all-star that they feel this young enough that they want to grow with. I don't know why. Why, dude? Sabonis is limited in what he can do. I see it now. I'm always gonna preach Sabonis and tell you and rub it in your face like, hey man, the Pacers gave up the wrong big man. But I see why the Pacers kind of gave up on him, man, because
you see what he did in the playoffs.
He was not a fan of.
See what he did.
Hold on. Well, when it's time for him to take the moment and him to beat him, dude, he dribbled off his right leg.
We just seen a guy. Listen. We just seen a guy that plays for Miami that tries to do things in the right moment. We just seen what the hell happened to him. So that right moment shit is played out. That's played out like Escalade. You can't.
Jimmy had.
I know what you're saying about, but that's playing for the right moment. That sounds like peaking at the right time. But you guys both know, like I know, if you consistently work on your game and you be consistent, it's just like winning. It's like that's how you get home field advantage. If you win early.
Right.
Well, are they breaking up? Okay. Next subject, Brett, Mike. Because I know we ain't got much time. Are they breaking up the Twins? Are they breaking up the Twins in Boston?
No. What are they gonna get? Well, you guys asked me that when it was Rocky. What are they gonna get? It's not. If you break up with, here's my thing. You had a first-time coach. You really can't. I mean, if I get rid of Jaylen Brown, I wouldn't give him. I wouldn't give him $600 million between the two of them. But hell, they kind of in a rock and a hard place. What are you gonna get for him?
Right.
What are you gonna get? It's just straight up and down. What are you gonna get for him?
If it's Lillard, would you take Lillard?
You're going small. Because Lillard's my height. But that's not the problem. The problem is
Lillard. You exchanging an all-star for an all-star, and Boston has
but is it gonna? Now you're making Pacer problems. Is it gonna fit? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Okay, you get him for him, but then you'll almost be like Isaiah Thomas for what's his name? Duke, Mr. Black Hole Basketball. Kyrie Irving.
Oh, Kyrie Irving. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great ball player. He can shoot. He's all that. But is he going to fit? My problem is the person they need to get rid of is Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart has cost them too many crucial games the last 3 years. Get him out of here because you keep shooting. You brought Bogdan in there to run your offense, but you don't want to let him run it enough. Then I don't know if he's scared. I don't know if that's because he's a first-year coach, but come on, dude. I've seen Marcus Smart do it too many times.
Right. Oh yeah.
But I wouldn't. It just sucks to be in that position because what are you gonna get for Jaylen Brown? What are you gonna get for him? You can't just give him away or not sign him. I mean, they could do it. Sign him. I guess they could do that. But again, what are you gonna get for him?
Well, the Pacer Nation, they trying to give, pick 7 in my alternative for Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, they were talking about that. Remember they were talking about that, right? They were talking about a 3-team trade right before playoffs started, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, man. These guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The thing of it is, and I hate to sound like an old ass, but this 2-dimensional basketball that they play now, you got to have a good combo player. And I don't mean somebody that can play when they feel like it. I need you to be able to do, because here's the thing. Somebody needs to sit down and tell Jason Tatum, look, you're going to have to rise up and say, we don't want you to go supernova like Godzilla. We don't want you to do that. But hell, we need you to be consistent. We need you to be, we're not trying to have you blow up the damn planet. Well, we need you to be consistent because that hot, cold, off and on, come on, man, that's hard. That's a hard thing to play.
Right.
They sometimes act like they don't like playing with one another.
I think Jaylen Brown is getting frustrated with him. I do, because what happens when Jason Tatum holds the ball and he commits turnovers, not only do you hold the ball, but you don't pass it because he's a scorer first. That's why you need a point guard. I've been screaming that for years. You need a point guard to set up plays that way and create plays because those guys are scorers.
Okay.
Think about it. Every good team had to have a good point guard. It had to be. Lance Jackson went in on me about that one time. He was asking me some you know how Lance is. He was asking me some fools. I think I made him mad at me because I was like, dude, yeah, Mr. Kraft makes Westinghouse TVs and carrying on. I love him to death. Though. He keeps it. Hey, you don't remember when Lance did that? Had these people believing and bought the TV.
I'm losing my shit over here.
Hey, Mike, ain't none of these people pay TV. They don't pay no taxes up on this show. Don't be shouting out no daggone TV. No, I'm just joking.
Listen, I want to continue this conversation. We have to continue this for another day.
Dynex. Call out some more TVs, man.
Damn.
Man, you know what's something before I get off the phone? Dude, I think y'all was talking about the bloodline last week, and I was trying to get the signal was jacked up. I couldn't make out all of what y'all was saying because my nephew has been, I had to explain to him who the real bloodline was and all that with the Rock's lineage and all that. He was like, that's crazy that y'all was talking about it because he just was talking to me about it. I said, oh, wow.
No, man, it's the most what would you say, most captivating thing that's going on right now in that sports entertainment world. Like,
yeah,
I
think so.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I follow it a little bit. I think Brandon follows it. You know what I mean? He follows a little bit more than me. I don't want to speak for him as he's on the show with me right now. But they finally got it over with Roman Reigns, and like they had a pay-per-view a couple weeks back. Night Champions, man. It was amazing. The pay-per-view, the drama, like all the dudes. I get it, man. Everybody can do Macho Man Randy Savage, and everybody can hawk up now, and everybody can do Shawn Michaels super kick, all that. But like, what drama, what story are you telling? The Bloodline tells a great story. Paul E, he is all in it. The announcers are all into it, man. It's the best kind of story going on right now.
I didn't know until my nephew was talking, and I was like, wow, I had no idea. You know what I mean? I was like, really?
I had been dissing Roman Reigns for like, oh my God, how many days, how many nights? Brandon hit me with these. Brandon texted me every week.
I think one of y'all said something about it on Twitter. I think one of you guys said something about it on Twitter too. I believe.
Roman, hey man, his cousin super kicked his ass to hell. How about that? His cousin finally got off the pot and said, you know what, we tired of this crap. They super kicked his ass to hell, man. That was awesome.
Right.
But nah, man, it was cool. Man. Roman's that dude, man. They gonna give him all the belts. He gonna have every belt the WWE got.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, well, but you got to do something to get people to get the butts in the seats, or fingers on the pay-per-view or whatever. You got to do something. You have to have something, like you said, that storyline, and it is a captivating storyline. It most definitely is. Especially when you especially when you go into details as to what's at stake and what are you trying to how dare
John,
you know what I mean?
Mike, there's a YouTube video that is a playlist somebody created, but it's like 4 hours long, so you have to watch it in spurts.
Crazy.
But it covers everything from the beginning to the end. So every interview, every instant that they had at the end of matches, like it breaks it down in chronological order.
Is that the one you were talking about last week?
Yes.
Yes. Is that the one? Yeah. Okay.
I'll find it and I'll post it.
I'll find the link, man. We'll share it. Yeah, we'll send it to you.
Yeah, it's
fantastic. I'll listen to
The Rock.
Hey,
Mike Kelly, The Rock. I'll just go end up The Rock coming back. The Rock gonna come back.
See, that's what piqued me because one of you guys said that's just setting up for The Rock to come back. But
yep.
I mean, hell, his movies suck. So I mean, he got to do something. I mean,
XFL sucks.
Damn.
Well,
I'm gonna send that.
You hit that $60 million, but did you guys see what I said about that?
Yes.
If that XFL has to happen, it can't be its own entity. You need an alley-oop from the league. I don't know in some kind of way, shape, or fact, because it's going to add something to it. That in the other one,
USFL.
USFL. You need an alley-oop to. You need somebody like Isaiah to tank one of them, like he did the CBA, and then the G League come out of it.
Yep.
Right. Yep. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, I think it is set up to buy it. I mean, that's capitalism. That's what it's all about. Hey, I got this up here. I'm not doing well with it. Hey, I got it for the low.
Yep.
So I mean, you guys might be on to something.
Damn.
All right, Mike. We running along for time, my man, but it was a pleasure talking to you again. And
absolutely,
as
guys,
always,
keep it up. I'll be listening.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, fellas.
Yep. Thanks for calling in, man.
All right, John. I got 3 last things here. First, I want to thank our sponsors: Scott K. Nichols, State Farm Insurance, Mavericks Motorsports, and Wiseman Logistics. Without you 3, we would not be able to do what we do every night and pay the bills to do what we do and have awesome conversations like we had tonight. We didn't even get to do the ad reads, John, tonight, just because we were flying through having guests and had a lot to talk about. So it was perfect.
Yep.
My last two things. The U.S. Open. U.S. Open golf starts tomorrow out in Los Angeles. We are going to have this weekend, starting tomorrow, primetime golf. Prime time. It's going to be 8, 9 o'clock at night. You're going to have primetime major golf going on out in Los Angeles. Scotty Scheffler, plus 700 is your favorite. Then John Rahm at plus 900. Rory McIlroy, plus 1,100. Brooks Koepka, plus 1,100. It's going to be a great tournament. I don't have a clue yet who I like in this one. I like to say Scotty, but he's the favorite. I almost think this course plays well for Dustin Johnson. I think Dustin Johnson, I guess if I had to twist my arm, I would like to see Dustin do well. I think Xander Schauffele as well is another one to watch. He usually plays well at this type of course. And I'm looking forward to the U.S. Open that starts tomorrow. Primetime golf is nothing better. It's 9 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock, you're laying in bed, just relax on the couch. It's dark outside, but you got primetime golf going on out on the West Coast. So can't wait for that. Also, and we'll share it, and I'm going to put it on the I got Mike's comment. Let me take Mike's comment down. We're going to share it on our Facebook feed. Next week, next Thursday, we have our show next Wednesday night. Next Thursday, myself and Jonathan Birdsong are going to be going up. First, we're going to go to Ball State. We're going to get with Coach Fleck. We are going to go to the Performance Center, the EY Performance Center, Golf Performance Center. We're going to film some content there with Coach. We're going to mess around, check out the facilities there at Ball State. We're going to see how Coach is. We're doing that all next Thursday morning. We'll have that content out at a later date for you. We may post some pictures and stuff that day for sure. Later on that day, the Ball State golf outing, Ball State alumni golf outing. I've got it on your screens right now if you're watching. It is going to be at Winchester Golf Course just east of Muncie. 2023 Ball State University Athletics Eastern Indiana Golf Dinner Outing benefits for the Ball State University golf programs. Still looking for teams. Next Thursday, 1 o'clock start. Like I said, Winchester. Your entry fee, if you're a member or if you're a non-member, for your foursome, there's prizes. There's a silent auction, I believe. There's dinner afterwards. It's going to be a great time. Myself and Jonathan are both going to be guests of honor at this thing. We are pleased and ecstatic that Coach Fleck has invited us to come up there and join in this great cause and this great day. We're going to play some golf out there. Myself, Jonathan, and I've got two other guys that we're all going to go up there. John's going to hit the golf ball with us. John, I'll explain the format to you at a later date but we all kind of hit together and we try to score together. Whoever's got the best shot, we take the shot from there. So it's going to be fun. We're going to film some content while we're up there doing it and all. It's going to be a great time. We've been trying to put this together for a long time to try to get with Coach up at Ball State. And it just so happens we're going to be able to get both happening on the same time. So I'm really excited for that next Thursday, John. Anything more on that for yourself?
Man, do we got any more time left?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Okay. I think we hit every little thing that I wanted to hit, man. Next week, I'm probably going to try to sandwich in appearance with Danny Bridges too, man. We kind of ghosted the Detroit Grand Prix from about 2 weeks ago, man, and I want to deep dive with him. And I know there's some more IndyCar races that are coming up, as well as some more NASCAR races, man. And you know what I'm saying, we got to chop a bit into that as well, man. But dude, we talked about boxing tonight. We talked about NBA tonight. We covered college football. We went from AFC North to like wondering what the hell's going on with the Buffalo Bills, man. Like I said, we had a great episode tonight. I don't know if we can ever, top it, but we're gonna sure try next week again, man. Next week we got the draft. Next week you'll have me, you'll have Brandon Reese, and you'll have, you if you tap in with us, man. Again, I appreciate everybody calling in. Appreciate everybody chiming in, man. Hey, let's do it again, man. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show. You can find more episodes